Hey guys, Garrett McLaughlin here, and if you're someone that wants to improve posture, whether you're sitting at a desk throughout the day, just been lazy throughout the weekend, or for some kind of performance goals that you have, and posture is really one of those limiting factors, I want to walk you through two of my favorite thoracic extension and rotation exercises. So this really focuses on that mid portion here of the spine, that thoracic spine, and 12 vertebrae in the spine, but tends to be a little more rounded and kyphotic, just because everything we do is typically in front of us. So these two drills will help you get out of that position, work on mobilizing into extension and rotation for you to see better results with your posture. The first drill is one of my favorites because it's a pretty lazy or easy to complete exercise. It's Sidelying thoracic extension and rotation. So what you're going to do for this one is laying on your side. Always like to make sure the setup is proper first. So if you stack the legs so ankles, knees, and hips are on top of each other, what you're going to do here is lay down to the outside of the shoulder, again supporting if you need it with a foam roller, a towel rolled up, or something to support the head and the neck. And then from here, make sure the knees are lined up. So if I look at the knees, a tendency on this one as we start to rotate is this top leg will start to pull backwards. So we really want to make sure this hip is locked in. The knees really give us a good indication of if we're moving through this lumbar spine. So knees are stacked and they're not moving from that position. So from there, I'm going to really just clamp down my top leg so I'm not shifting backwards as I rotate. I'm going to bring my arm up in the air. I'm going to come back and rotate, breathe. And this is typically where you start to see the knee rotate to allow us to get more motion. We really want to lock this in here so we don't get a false sense of rotation. So it's just happening from the spine and not from this lumbar and hip region. So from here, rotate, breathe. And all I'm trying to do is really not focus so much on the hand position, but can I drop the shoulder closer to the ground? So like my left scapula here, my left shoulder, can I rotate? I like to sit and hold in this position. I feel like as I breathe more, I can rotate and sink a little more deeply into that position. Some people like to go through repetitions of that. It's really whatever works best from you. Find what is that one way that you see the best benefit. From there, again, doing the other side is very important, and then really seeing, do I have any difference from one side to the other side? If you notice that one side is just really restricted, you're not really getting much rotation, or it's not as much as the other side, add an extra set to that side because you really want to balance out one side to the other. The next drill is called bench thoracic extension. A little more active with this drill, so you can't just sit back and rotate and be lazy like the last one. But what you're going to do on this is holding a broomstick, and you don't need the broomstick. I always find it helps a little bit when opening up through the arms and the shoulders. This does have a little more shoulder flexibility in it when you look at the lats, the long head of the tricep. But if you go, almost like you're saying a prayer over this bench, you're going to put the elbows on the bench, you're going to sit the knees back, and we're going to go into somewhat of a child's pose position from this elevated bench. We're going to sit back, butt back, arms come overhead. I'm trying to reach my hands all the way back to my shoulder blades. And as I sit back here, the last thing I want to think about is, can I extend and arch that back into extension? Hold for a couple seconds and then ease off. So you can see for me, pretty tight in the shoulders. Have a difficult time getting the arms all the way back. So tightness through the lats and the triceps, but still do a fairly okay job getting the spine into extension, arching that back at the very end. And we want to focus on thoracic as much as possible. You'll see the tendency sometimes for people only to focus on down by that lower back. We want that upper back, mid back to really be the area we're targeting to drive more extension. Because if you think of all these seated positions that we're in throughout the day, rounded, this is getting us into that opposite position, extension at the thoracic spine to really help open up those vertebrae the opposite way. So thank you for checking out this video today on those two drills to work on thoracic extension and rotation. If you are sitting at the desk throughout the day, or you just typically have pretty poor posture, you'll have to work on these drills more regularly. If you're someone that's on your feet and you just feel some tightness, throwing these drills in throughout the day would be helpful, but it really depends on how much you're in a position where your spine is rounded. That will really require a lot more work to unwind out of that position. So if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out, email, or a phone call, and I'd love to help you work on improving posture as it relates to that thoracic extension and rotation. Thank you guys.